Okay, so are you one of those golfers that struggles with hitting the ball fat or thin? Well, a lot of it is because you've never heard of what we call the elevated plane or flat spot. So today I'm going to talk to you about this and how we can direct momentum and help you to stop hitting fat shots. So come on, let's go do it. So one of the most common faults that I tend to see with golfers when they're hitting the ball thin or they're catching the ball a little bit fat is they have this tendency to want to hit down on the ball. Okay, it's one of the worst pieces of advice that you can probably get from a golfer. Hitting down on the ball is you forcing the club head down to the ground, and this in an attempt to try and cure you hitting the ball thin, for example, let's say, or fat as well, because you think you need to get a better compression on the ball. Well, when we swing a golf club, we don't need to, okay? There's loads of forces around us, and it's called magic, okay? And using momentum and acceleration and gravity and so on helps me to develop those right feels in the swing anyway. Now, at Molluska Golf, there's something we call the elevated swing plane. And this is my aha moment that I had many, many years ago, 11 years ago now with Mike Molluska, was when I first found him on YouTube, and he was talking about this thing of tipping the club, okay, tipping the club and feeling as though the club head just floats through impact, okay? And once you get the club's momentum going in the right path, you can then allow the weight of the club to do its thing, and gravity is going to help the club head to swing down to the ball, all right? So learning this elevated play was one of the first things that I ever did. So what is the elevated plane? So it's more of a feel than an actual reel, all right? So when we swing a golf club, the feeling that I'm going to get, if I do it from this angle to start with, the feeling that I'm going to get is when I swing the club down and I come down to my, just down here somewhere, I pull the club down, the feeling I'm going to get is from here, is I feel as though that I move everything around together and keeping the club head up and on an elevated plane, okay, through the swing. And that's the feeling that I'm going to get. I'm going to use the momentum, I'm going to just tip it just a little bit out towards the ball and get my hand working this way, get to about here somewhere, and then I'm going to feel as though the butt end of the club stays pointing at me continuously through the swing, okay? So just doing it from this angle here, I'm going to swing up, pull the club down to here, and then just turn everything through together, all right? And I'm going to do that feel. And that feel is going to help me to keep the club as what we call on an elevated plane. It feels like it moves level to the ground through impact, all right? There's no me pulling the club head down. I'm just getting the momentum to start working for me. And this is going to, and with gravity, what's going to happen is the club head's going to go down naturally, all right? But that's the feeling I want to get. I want to feel as I'm just pulling the club down here and then swinging through. So that's the feel. So I'm going to go up, down, and around, okay? But I'm not pulling it down. The weight of the club's doing it for me, and I'm swinging it around here. Okay, so that's the feel that I'm going to get. So I'm going to go up and around, and the ball flies off for me. I haven't had one thought there of the club head being pulled down. Now, the reason how the club does go down, okay, is due to gravity. The weight of the club's just going to let the club drop. I don't need to force it down with my wrists, okay, and that forcing down is going to cause me to release the club too early, which can cause the fats and the thins. So I'm going to get that feeling of holding the club up here and swinging through. Now, one of the best ways that Mike ever learned to do this was just to swing, make a few swings softly and swing the club above the ball, okay? And then each swing he came down, he'd let the club head just drop down or relax the wrists a little bit more, okay? To the point where he probably even, like, you know, tops the ball, okay, while doing it. But eventually he would allow that weight of that club to just gradually lower down and lower down, just to get the club head back into the ball without forcing it down. He's allowing the weight of the club, okay, or the momentum, to do the job for him, okay? And it does it for you. What I felt from that immediately when I used to do that was I just felt the weight of the club swinging me around, and also it felt like the club head just floated through effortlessly when I hit the shot. So I really urge you to give that a try, okay? So remember what it is you're swinging the club back here, and what I like about this is I'm not unleashing the wrists, okay? You're allowing momentum and the weight of the club to hinge and unhinge your wrists for you, not the other way around. So this feeling of getting the club to here, allowing that to turn on an elevated plane, okay, really synchronizes everything up. it makes the swing effortless. I mean, I'm only just tapping these ones here really, but that's the feeling I'm going to get, and it's with every club in the bag. Okay, it helps to square the face up, it gives me a better contact on the ball, and I'm not going to be taking huge big divots. Now I'm starting off here on a T-peg. You can do the same, but just back and just through. I'm allowing the weight of the club to do that for me. I'm just giving it a little nudge just to get it tipping back on the right line, and then I'm just trying to hold, just sort of allowing the momentum of the club to do the work for me. It's a really great way to practice this, and you really will start to strike the ball a lot better. So there we have it. Okay, that's what we call the elevated plane. It's well worth giving it a try, especially if your strikes are a little off. It's often because you're trying to pull the handle down towards the ball and you're going to cast it, throw it, and all sorts. So it's worth swinging that, because that feeling is it's a wonderful feeling to get. It feels like the club head just floats through, because you're sort of using what we call the invisible swing, where you're sort of utilizing momentums and gravities and so on, and just letting the club swing effortlessly through the ball. Funny enough, that sort of holding the angle or the elevated plane and turning it through together, the club head it feels amazing. I can't begin to tell you. So anyway, I hope that helps you. Please remember to like, subscribe, and to share this video with your friends, and I'll catch you next time.